All right, everybody. Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you guys are tuning in from. Welcome to our program for this evening here with One Accord in our summer series program. So, tonight's topic, we are going to have a little bit of a discussion. It's going to be over millennials and why they joined the church, why they left the church, and everything surrounding that topic. Most of us who are here are actually, I think all of us here are millennials. So it would be a good topic. And if you're a millennial and you're tuning in, please write some questions or something in the comment section so that we can address it. And if you're watching this on replay, you as well can write your comment on the YouTube, or it'd have to be YouTube.
Yeah, it'd have
Write
to
it
be
on
YouTube.
our YouTube page, and we'll get back to you as well. We look at the comments and we respond to them. So please join us, get involved, right? So today I have with us joining me, we have a few of us here. If you guys want to say hi.
Hello.
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 And
Hi. Greetings.
and as we talk, everybody will kind of chime in. So before we get into that topic, we're going to be playing Minecraft as well, continuing our build here in Egypt. And so we'll start building, and we'll have a discussion through the build. But before, I want to ask some nice warm up questions here for everybody, and let's talk about.
Oh, I was just going to say, I just would like you to remind people why we're doing this whole Minecraft thing, like what the point is of us building this part of Egypt.
Oh, okay. So this part of Egypt that we're building is just to add more to story. We originally were doing Abraham, the story of Abraham. Is that correct?
Yeah. Basically, yeah, we're trying to follow that. It's basically this. What would you call it? Chronology of events, and in the Bible, we're starting in the book of Genesis. So then,
Yeah.
it was. No, the thing that's awkward about it is that because there's the place where I put it, and it's kind of weird because it's like maybe we would have to paste it somewhere else later because I'm not sure where the Red Sea would be if you want to use it for the.
Oh no, we've got to hook up. We've got to hook up for that now. We just did it last time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This river thing.
Basically,
there's two sides to the river, so we're okay there.
Basically, what we're trying to do is we're trying to bring these stories to life here, and we're trying to, kind of give a visual of right now through Genesis. We've done a few topics in Genesis already. There's still so much more to do, and specifically, we're focusing right now in Egypt. We'll eventually get to the Exodus and Moses and all that. So yeah. If you're tuning in, you can join us as a builder as well. So if you play Minecraft and you like what we're doing and you want to be a part of it, join our Discord. We'll put our Discord right now on the bottom so you can kind of see where it's at. Join it, become a part of it. We'd love to see you there, right? So yeah, that's kind of what we're doing with Minecraft, right? This is why we build. This is why we build things here. Not only is it fun, not only is it entertaining, not only is it cool, but it's also a way to illustrate stories and events from the Bible.
That's the word I wanted you to use. Illustrate. It's like the perfect way to easily illustrate and bring to life some of the Bible stories. And it's been a lot of fun. I was never a Minecrafter before I met you guys. And it's pretty easy to get the hang of, honestly, if you've ever played any type of point and click game. If you've never played but you like what we are doing, you could totally easily join, and we'll even teach you the ropes. So definitely check us out at oneaccordtheguild.com. You can join our Discord. You can even see what we're studying to tell some of these Bible stories. If you even want to join and help out with research on that, we love people that love to do research. if you love to do Bible research, we definitely could use your input. So even if you don't play games, but you are definitely like a theologian or like a Bible historian of some kind, we would love, 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 love your input. So, I mean, there's a lot of different room here at One Accord the Guild for input. And I just want to stress that because I feel like a lot of people are kind of thinking, oh, we're just playing games. And, you know, that's really not what we're doing necessarily. Like, we're not playing in survival. Well, at least I don't. I think some people do, but I don't. But we're definitely still trying to tell a lot of stories, and there's a whole lot of Bible to go, isn't there?
Yes.
There's room for expansion.
Oh yeah, lots and lots.
Really quick though on that idea of somebody joining in, because I have not played Minecraft in a while, so I'm trying to get in, and I'm being told that my version of Minecraft is too far ahead.
Yeah,
you
you have to open 1.17.
You have
1.17.
Yes.
Wait, we're okay. I can barely hear you.
Yeah, I can't understand.
I think somebody's game is really loud, and I don't know whose it is.
Let me see if this helps.
All right, Jai, you have to start the game in version 1.17.0.
Yes.
You're probably starting
How do
in
I
1.
get that? Yeah, because I've got 1.17.1.
Okay, so you gotta exit what you're in right now, and you've got to reopen the launcher.
Yep. Installations. 1.17.0. No results found.
Roque, how does he open that?
All right. I'm going to have to share my screen or something, right?
I can share my screen.
Yeah, you can
guys
do that.
yeah.
That'd be easier.
Share your screen then. We can
share screen. I think it's this one.
Are you sharing Discord? No.
No, this is the.
There we
So
go.
it only has this.
You have to click
Okay.
new installation.
Okay, new installation right there. Yeah, and then change the
There we go.
version there
You can put any name, but yeah.
to 1.17. Right.
So this
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
You can put whatever name. You know, just pull up whatever you
OAG.
Yep.
Yeah.
Resolution.
It's in the bottom right hand corner.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Ah, okay.
Oh, you
Yeah.
know what?
This is the one I have to click to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is an important question because if somebody new is getting on, they're like, I've never done this before. It's going to automatically put them in the other version.
That's true. I'm so glad that you needed this example.
People will be like, I can't join.
Yeah. And the time we do update the server though, then you could just update that part to say whatever the next version is that's updated to.
So it should load now. Fine. There you go, multiplayer. Yep, and then you see our server, and then the address is it's there in the chat if you want to copy and paste it, but it's actually just One Accord. Put the server name, put our name in there.
I thought you might put it in already, but I don't know.
Yep. And then for the server address, it's literally One Accord the Guild. Yep, perfect. And then
Let me delete this one real quick.
oh, that's the wrong one, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, let's see how it goes.
And then when you join, I'm going to leave it up for just a second. And so you're at our starting point where everybody starts. I think, here you go. Now, if you go, I want to show people this. If you go forward and keep going. No, there you go. Go out there. Now go to the left, directly to your left. Turn. Okay, keep going forward. Okay, see, there's two of those, but don't go to Super Flat World. Go to the one to the right, which is like our spawn point.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yep.
basically.
And then when you go down there, if you look around at all those, you can see we've got all these different locations that we've worked on or are working on. And like we've done like previous episodes with our flood and the post-flood and all that. So
And,
to the far right is our most recent one that we're working on. There you go.
Exodus?
Yep. Pre-Exodus
Yeah.
Egypt. Perfect.
Yeah. I guess at some point eventually it'll be both Genesis and Exodus and Egypt, but then
Yeah, it will.
I'll just call
Yeah.
it Egypt.
For now. Yeah.
I just spawn in on top of the Sphinx.
Yeah, that's where you spawn from. We might need to fix that, Roque.
Yeah.
Or you just have it spawn in front of the Sphinx, so it's like right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, it'd be cool if it spawned like right in the front. That'd be awesome,
I
actually.
can fix that. Yeah.
Here and be like, wow.
Right.
Yeah. Let's see.
So, I had a Amazon package that was supposed to be delivered, and so it said it was delivered, but they didn't take a picture. They usually do. So I went out there and it was gone. So I was like, "Did someone steal it?" And then I contacted customer service, and then they said, "Oh, we updated the status too soon. It's going to be there tomorrow." So I don't know if it's like
Weird.
they they're just like, what happened? I don't know. Let's just resend them another one. Because I got 1 day delivery, so
So it should have been there today.
yeah. It said it was delivered, but they didn't take a picture of it, which they usually do.
Yeah. Kind of strange.
All right. Anyway, so yeah, this is what we're doing. Jai, you got it working?
Yeah, I'm in.
All right. So before we get into our discussion here, if you guys could choose to drink a very specific type of tea, what would it be?
Of tea, I would drink peach tea for sure.
And why and how? Like, how do you? Is it gonna be iced? Is it gonna be hot? Or what?
If I drink peach tea, it would have to be iced. If I had to choose a hot tea, though, I'd probably choose chamomile, just because it's so soothing. And I have had like a hot peach chamomile, which was actually really, really good. But the reason why, well, honestly, nostalgia.
Oh.
It was like my favorite drink that was like, it didn't used to be like a thing, but before I realized how much sugar they had them, and I used to get the peach Snapple tea all the time when I was younger. And my friends and I just had this obsession with like peach drinks. I don't know why. We just did, and that was one of them. And then we would go to this restaurant that had the most amazing like fresh peach tea.
Mm.
And it was just incredible. So anytime I want peach tea, it's usually because I miss them, or, I mean, we're all still in contact, even after many, many years. I don't want to say how long. But it's just like, it's one of those things where, it's comforting. And I think the nostalgia is comforting. The reasons behind it is, it's like, oh, I'm homesick for my friends and I miss them, and I'm going to go have peach tea and that'll make me feel better. Even though it has a lot of caffeine too. Like, I can't just have it at night because that would just not work.
The peach tea, you're saying?
Yeah, because the ones I always get, they're usually like peach tea that's like a green tea, or it's peach tea that's like black tea.
Oh, yeah.
Which is caffeinated, of course. But that's why I tried the chamomile peach tea, which is super hard to find. And when I run out of it, I always am sad because then it takes forever to find again.
Do you guys have Target near you?
Yeah.
Because Target has their brand of sparkling water that's a ginger peach. It's actually pretty
Yes, I've got that. It's so yummy.
good.
Yeah.
I'm having one right now. It's
Are you? Those are really good. We're really into their they released one just this year that's like a dragon fruit that's really amazing.
Oh yeah, that one's good too.
Eli.
What about you? I thought you were gonna say pastor.
You
No.
dog throwing everybody else
I-
out there.
I am not a fan of tea in general, so I would just drink water.
Okay.
Which is why we have sparkling beach water.
Yes, let's go with that.
Was the question only about tea, or was it any drink?
It was supposed to be
tea.
about tea, but if you don't like tea, and you can tell us what your favorite drink is.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same
I
boat
like
with
coconut
Eli.
water.
Yeah, I don't mind trying different things, like, almond milk or, well, I don't drink that often though. I might drink cranberry juice or something.
Is it me, or I can't really hear Roque? Like, it sounds a little bit low.
Real muted.
I don't know.
I hear him fine, oddly enough.
I hear him fine, actually, too. But you are a little quiet.
How about now?
There you go.
Yeah, I'm putting it way up in my face. No, I was saying that I don't exactly have like a favorite drink or something, but I mean, I don't mind trying different kinds of juices or, the tea. I'm not really so big on that. Sometimes I'll drink chamomile tea too.
Okay.
This is a really weird question, Pastor Mike. Why are you asking?
Here's another weird random question. Why are there buttons everywhere?
Oh, I think that was Jay's idea.
Why?
I'm blaming Jay.
Just blame Jay. I think it's supposed to be like rocks in the desert.
I think so.
Yeah, but there's so few and far in between. They just look like buttons in the middle of the desert.
I think if we just put cobblestone there every now and then, it would kind of look like it.
Well, maybe you need both. You need the cobblestone and that. I know that Jay really likes adding textures, and so does Ernie, but we don't have Ernie tonight either.
Okay.
The other thing, I can't enter anything in the chat, so I can't enter creative mode. I don't know why.
Oh, press F3 and then F4.
And then Alt F4.
Okay, what does that do?
F3 and F4 toggles the mode.
Oh.
Why don't you press Alt F4?
Oh, yep. There we go. Now my computer's shutting down.
And then delete System 32. And then...
Not important at all.
All right, so I like iced tea, and I think one of my favorite iced teas. I had a black tea, mixed with I think it was passion, and I had it at a restaurant at what's this place called? Yosemite. It was at a restaurant there, and it was like handmade and everything, and it was a $7 for a cup, right?
Wow.
Yeah, and it was probably the best iced tea I've ever had. So, yeah, that's why I asked about. I'm drinking tea right now too. It's chamomile, but I was just asking. All right, so to our topic here then. Millennials leaving church. A lot of millennials today they're becoming working professionals. Most of them are no longer in undergrad anymore. If they are, they're in grad school or above. But they're at the point now where most millennials have pretty stable jobs and making families as well. A lot of millennials, especially in my age group, are already they're married and kids are well on their way.
Two to 2 kids.
Yeah. So millennials also do not make up the majority of church population.
No.
Especially here in the United States. Actually, something interesting that I found out was that even in South America and I think parts of Asia, the millennial age range is dropping over there as well, which is interesting because it hasn't dropped in, while the United States was having this decline over there in In other continents, it wasn't, but now we are starting to see a decline. So, let's talk about that. Let's talk about why millennials left the church. Why?
There's just so
No,
many
go
different
ahead.
directions we could go with this.
Yeah.
There is.
This feels like a really. I mean,
You really wanted to pick a heavy subject. there.
I have anxiety. I think one of the biggest ones I hear about is, and I don't know, this isn't necessarily my opinion, just to clarify, but worship style is a big one. People feel that the style that is used at their church, I'm not necessarily saying like our church, but like at their local church, whatever, isn't really, it feels irrelevant to them. So that's a big one that I hear. Or that people are like, oh, I'm fine to go to a Bible study, but I don't really need to go to church. That's another one I hear.
I think, yeah, and I think a lot of it is there's church as a community doesn't feel like the community that it should.
Right.
You know, it's like unlike a family, when you have a family member that you disagree with, well, you just learn to get along with them because you live with them. The church, when you come to a disagreement, it's like, well, I don't have to stick around. I'm going to go somewhere else. And then the other side of it is just that we've kind of, I think, majority, I'd say a lot of the churches today have lost the spirit of community when it comes to like building a place where people can not only feel accepted, but actually like grow and excel together. We've taken an emphasis off of like maturing together as a whole and put it more on self-focused, what's beneficial to me type thing.
I just thought of another one that kind of goes with that, was a dress code. A lot of people will feel, I think younger people too, that I've heard it so many times, like, you know, people get on me because of what I'm wearing and I don't like that, which, you know, free will is definitely a thing. We've been talking a lot about free will during this whole thing, haven't we? The summer side quest thing.
Oh gosh, yes.
And I think that's a big one, especially for millennials, because there's definitely a much more casual attire, even in the workplace, to be honest, than there used to be. And I think that's really hard for older people to adjust to. And then, you know, while they might see their look is fine, you know, I think to some older generations, it's not. And I'm not saying anybody is necessarily right or wrong here, but I think there's just a different age and attire has changed, which it does over time. I mean, attire does change. So I think that there's a lot of people that got hung up on that, though, on both sides, the younger people and the older people.
Definitely. I would add that part of the issue as well is that church has become this sort of web of cultures that, at least to us millennials, it's irrelevant and incompatible with us, where it almost feels like a song and dance that we're not interested in participating in. And so, you know, absent of a real reformation in the church, I don't think there's much reason for the millennials that left to return, because it feels fake.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't feel like a place that I belong, I'd say. Or at least it's easy to find like, oh, my belonging is in something else. Like before, when the communities were smaller and like lived in a small town, church was the community. It was the central meeting hub for everything. Nowadays, we have so many other places we could be that it's like, well, why do I have to go here?
It's interesting you mentioned that too, because I was talking with Eli before about this something similar where, like, if people don't feel like they have a voice, they don't feel like, you know, they feel like they're just basically they're just going there and it's like just shut up and listen. Basically, it's like they don't care about your input. So then it's like, why am I here? You know, like people forget why they're even here. So yeah, That's kind of, I think, what the feeling is a lot of times.
Yeah, exactly.
I kind of wonder too if it's sometimes I think for some people it's the music, because we're not maybe singing more modern hymns, which are still hymns. They're just different. They have different tones. They have different structure. But I think that it's interesting. I've seen a lot, and I've visited a lot of different churches over the years, and I see that, like, if they're doing like a younger service, you know, they'll sing the simpler songs, and then that's okay. But then they won't sing, like, I don't know, a song by Michael W. Smith or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, there just isn't. We'll sing the simple songs for the kids, but we're not going to sing anything else because it's not our style, and we're not going to, you know. And that's kind of upsetting, because it's like, well, there's a lot of really nice songs, you know, like I love Mercy Me, and I can think of a lot of nice songs that would be great hymns to sing in church by them, but nobody would ever do it.
You know, while we're on that topic, something that always felt weird to me was the idea of clapping in church. Okay, some churches do it, some churches are very against it, and the question I have is, there's churches that are very, very against clapping, yet when it's for a kids program, they're okay with it. So if you notice, they're very interactive, right?
Yeah.
The songs for the kids are very interactive. You know, there's, you know, one that was popular when I was a kid, it was like Father Abraham. There was a lot of movement and stuff like that. I know there's other songs today that are pretty interactive. I mean, I see them at VBS, but for the kids, they're, you know, they have clapping in there, but then after you reach a certain age, that clapping that you did as a kid is now like a sin for you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out, like, I don't understand.
Totally.
I don't understand that.
I don't understand that either.
Yeah.
I think I remember.
I mean,
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, as someone who works with that age a lot, both in church stuff, outside of church stuff, children just learn by interactivity. So you know, the argument could be made that it's being done at that age because that is how you keep their attention, right? That is why kindergarten teachers do it, and that's why everybody does it. If you want to have that early age, you either need to have them standing up or jumping down or clapping or stomping their feet. Otherwise, you're going to lose them. So that is a teaching tool. And if memory serves me correct, the reason why we are not supposed, or why we Adventists tend to not clapping, is because we don't want to glorify the persons. So
That's what I was gonna say.
I
Yeah, that
get why it
told that's
exists,
the
although I'm
reason.
not exactly saying that I agree with. Yeah, so I'm not saying I agree with this divide. I'm just saying I understand why the divide exists.
I guess I'd be curious on that though, because it's like, why are we insistent that children need to have this type of, like, and not entertainment, may not be the best word, but like this form of engagement that keeps their, like, attention? And it's like, and has it always been like that? Because I mean, you read some of these things, like if you ever look at some of the things that a third grader wrote in the 1800s, you're like, this sounds like college level writing by today's standards.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a simple paper they put together on some president or something, and it's just like, you're like, that's better than most college students would do today. And so I just wonder, like, why did we start assuming that children need this level of extra stimuli in order to retain their attention? I guess, like, is that actually something that's, it's kind of that getting into that idea of nature versus nurture. Is it their nature to be drawn to things that are like that, or is it because we've nurtured that into society to assume children need this extra stimulation in order to be engaged and stuff? Like, I don't know. What do you guys think?
We could go
There's
into
a features.
I may go off topic, but I'm just,
women. Yeah. Eli, say what you're gonna say.
Oh, I was going to say, there's a few factors. In the 1800s, most children were not going to school. So what little children were there sort of appreciated education a lot more than children do today, where was sort of cast into preschool before, their earliest memories even formed. So, that is something to take into consideration. As to whether it's nature or nurture, I don't know. I think as a collective, they realized that it worked and it stuck. But again, I'm not an expert on the subject, so I don't know.
I just want to make it perfectly clear. None of us are experts on the subject. We're all just trying to figure it out as we go along.
I'm just trying to stimulate conversation here.
That was, and I do think you're on the right track there. I think that it's really important to realize, though, that when children were born back then, like, I'm just thinking like pioneer days, okay? Not a lot of children went to school past what would be considered like 6th grade. And a lot of it was at home, but a lot of what children were doing was they were doing exactly what the adults were doing. They were harvesting as soon as they could walk. They were following along. They were learning to be adults at a very young age. And these days, children have a childhood, which didn't exist back then. A childhood wasn't really a thing. Like, as soon as you could walk and as soon as you could pick corn, you were picking corn with the adults. So there's a very different mentality we have these days than existed back then, because back then there really wasn't a childhood unless you were extremely rich. If you were extremely, extremely rich, you probably had a childhood back then, but that's not necessarily the case now, because there's so many more options and there's so much more accessibility. Even in countries that are not maybe as developed today, they still have more options than like pioneers had.
Yeah.
Because they might even have a TV and have some relaxation time, whereas, relaxation time didn't exist in the past. If you were the average person, there was no relaxation time. You were up at the crack of dawn. You were, gardening. You were taking care of animals. You were, pioneer life has always been a fascination for me, which is why I'm using that as an example. But the life expectancy back then was very different too. And that's another thing to take into consideration, because, if you were 40, you were considered old. If you lived past 50, you were ancient. And people looked at, because they had worked so physically hard. They looked at, you looked at somebody and you might look at the year, and this is a year before they died and they've got their picture taken. Granted, it's on tin, but their age is 55 and they look 75, So it was just different. It was a different world. And I think it's difficult to compare the two. But I think that also explains why they had maybe a more developed sensibility, because they were doing such adult things at such a young age. By the time you're 4, you're full on harvesting with mom and dad,
Right. It's like more was expected of you, so you learned faster.
Yes. Yeah. Which isn't necessarily bad, but I think that what we have now, as far as children actually having a childhood, is proven to be good, And it's actually now the children that don't get a childhood that usually suffer from things like PTSD, and even their brains are not fully developed in the correct way. Like, the connections in the brain aren't correct.
Interesting.
Oh, Roque has said, "Oh, clap your hands, all you peoples. Shout to God with the voice of a triumph." Psalm 47:1.
Yeah, so there are Bible verses that talk about not only clapping your hands, but using all kinds of instruments. And without going into the topic of music, because that could probably be a topic for...
That's a whole other topic.
Yeah, that could easily be another one. So back to the topic of millennials and church. We mentioned a few things. Some of you kind of mentioned a few things already about things that you saw that were not good. So what are some things that you saw that were good? Maybe a youth ministry event that you saw that was like, this is actually really great, or some that you see now even, or what is there today for millennials in church?
That is a good question. I'm gonna answer it, but not directly. Part of the reason why I feel that I stayed in church is because my church used me, and when I say me, I mean just me, right? Why, for some reason, everybody viewed me as being holier than everybody. I don't know why they got that idea from me and not the rest of the kids in my youth group, but they got that idea from me, and because of that, they would use me a lot in Sabbath school, and doing little things, and they made me deacon at an early age, and so I was able to identify with that congregation as them being my church. Now, the rest of the kids in my youth group, they didn't get that, and so eventually they just got tired and left. So I think that as early as possible, if we start using them, right? If we start using them as children, if we start using them as teenagers, then when they grow up, they're more likely to stay than if we just sort of set them off to their little children's or youth corner until they're old enough for us to feel to let them, eat at the table. I know that's not really answering the question, but that's just a little.
But in a way, that's kind of addressing what I was bringing up earlier, which is the fact that it's like, and what Mario was saying also is this idea that at a young age, children were given responsibility, and it seems like in your case, the church gave you a responsibility that made you feel like I have things I have to do, and it kept you more motivated to stay with them. I don't know. That's just my perspective from what you're saying.
Yeah.
My name is Marae, by the way.
What did I say?
Mara.
I said Mara? I thought I said Marae.
Mara. It's not Mara this whole time.
This whole time I've been telling everybody Mara. It's like, yeah, from the Bible, Mara.
Mara praise? No? Okay.
Nope. Guys, I think I found the perfect spot for when we do Moses, like in the bulrushes. Because look, we could put a house here, like a really nice, mansion. If we did brush this, and we could have a nice little spot here. Where the queen went down and she was bathing, and I think we could make a nice, we need to extend Egypt over here somehow.
Yeah. I expect turning this grass.
Oh, you mean the where they picked up Moses and
Yeah.
the river? Okay.
Yeah. And it was naturally occurring. Like, I didn't make this little spot, but we could make it somewhere else too. I just thought, when I saw that little spot, I thought, oh, that'd be a great spot for that story. But we need to brush this area in.
I can turn it into grass. I mean, sand,
Yeah,
sand.
Like if you could just do, you see where I am right now?
What, you mean where you were? Oh,
well,
here.
Yeah, where I was.
Yeah.
But maybe we need to brush this whole section where your four.
I could do that.
Your four kings are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where?
Okay. Question about this tool here. So, I want a tool that creates sand, but only when I click on grass blocks. Like it just replaces the grass blocks in a radius of like 5 or something.
Yeah, I forget how that works, to be honest. Like, I thought, like, there was, I used to know how to do that, but I don't know, I would get them confused. But, like, no, Andrew knows that. I think I'm going to try to figure it out and see if I do.
I think I need to widen this bit right here.
I was looking at this space over here to the left of this big temple looking thing. So I was thinking of putting a market here. What do you guys think?
Where
all this sand is.
I'm gonna TP over to you. Hold on. Okay, where do you want to put it?
Right here on this side of the pyramids.
Yeah, I say go for it.
I did the outline of what I'm thinking we could use as space.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, I think that's great. Yeah, I can see the outline.
Yeah, there's a video.
Oh, because you have. It's like, why do our screens look different? You have a.
I have a filter on.
Yeah, that's why.
I think I'll go on mute and just watch a video tutorial how to do it, and then I'll see if I can explain it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pastor Mike, to answer your question, I can honestly tell you, I didn't always have the greatest experience at church, and I was one of those people that left. I left. I got fed up and left.
Question: How old were you, and how long were you gone?
I started having the inklings to leave around 13, and I was gone until I was 22. I left fully by the time I was 15. And it's really kind of sad, honestly. Like, and I'm not blaming like my Sabbath school teachers or my Pathfinder leader or anybody in particular. I think there was a collective issue going on for me internally, but also externally, because for me, the things I was learning in the Bible, I just saw hypocrites everywhere. And I just couldn't stop seeing hypocrites. And I was like, wait, you're telling me not to do this, but for you, it's okay? Like, I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. I'm very logical, and that's not going to fly. And then the other part of that was I had a lot of people that I looked up to, like my Sabbath school teachers and, leadership that was at Pathfinders and stuff. And when those people like let me down, and the reasons behind it, it was like, are you kidding me? It was sad. And then this was really sad. I got totally accused. I was a sober person at that point in my life. I was accused of doing drugs and all this other stuff. And I was like, I had not done anything at that point. I had been around it when somebody else was doing it, but I left. But because I was there, I got accused of it too. And I was like, wait a second. No, drug test me. I'm clean. Like, I didn't do anything. But at that point, I was like, it was like I was already like done, and my Pathfinder people were done with me. Mm-hmm. And it was like I was guilty by association, even though I had not done anything. But at that point on, like, people treated me differently, and I dealt with that for 2 years. And at that point, I was just like, I'm out of here. Bye. You know, you guys didn't love me or care about me anyway. And there was just and nobody came after me. Nobody. Not my Sabbath school teachers, not my pastor, I went to 2 different churches, so not my other pastor, nobody. And there was even parents that were in leadership that were in my grade. None of them came to me. None of them said, "Hey, Murray, what's going on? We haven't seen you for weeks." You know, nobody did. Nobody. And I think that was a mistake. Nobody came after me. Nobody talked to me. Nobody was like, and I was in the Adventist school system, but nobody came and was like, how can I help you? What's going on? And instead it was, you're guilty by association and too bad. And it was just like, it was a series of unfortunate events, but I was in the wake of it, even though I hadn't done it. And it just like sputtered into a huge thing. And I know that was very emotionally charged, but it was very emotional for me, and I can't help it. I couldn't tell you it without it. And I think it's sad for me because I feel like I lost a lot of years where I could have been doing more and done things differently. But again, nobody came after me. And I don't think that my household was equipped of what to do, because I think they were kind of on the fence too with everything that happened. But like, why wouldn't somebody come after? Why wouldn't somebody call? Why wouldn't, we were faithful tithe payers. I don't understand that. And I don't to this day. And I think that when the stuff I've been involved with at church now, like, I have called people. I reach out to people. I text them. Maybe it's not my job to do that, but I think that goes a really long way, especially when we were all at church and you keep seeing the same people. And if you don't see somebody for a while, you're like, wait a second. Where is this person? Why haven't we seen them? And maybe there's a legit reason. Maybe they've been sick. Maybe they've been exhausted from work, which is a thing that happens. We live in a society where work exhaustion is very much prevalent.
Yeah, that's true. But, and to touch on that topic, and it is a shame that nobody did reach out to you, because as you said, you would do that, and you do that. What may happen to church people, church volunteers. Remember, all this church stuff is volunteer work, and so what may happen at times is people might be burned out too.
Yeah, and I've considered that now that I'm older. But when you're young, that doesn't occur to you. What occurred to me back then was, well, what did I do? Why am I being held guilty for this? I didn't do anything wrong. I actually did the right thing. I told what happened, and I was then punished for it. And unfortunately, I think that. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
My biggest fear is that kind of thing keeps happening. And I'm not saying that anybody's like intentionally like being doing those things, to kids necessarily. I think that stuff happens and it's unfortunate, and there's going to be some aftermath, but I think it's important that we're talking to our teens and really talking to them and going, you've obviously been a witness to this, or you were there, or this was really hard, must have been very hard for you. Like, I think I should have like had, some counseling or something, like, but talked to like a real person, and not just like, and it was really tragic because I loved my Sabbath school teachers. They were awesome. It was a couple of guys and a couple of women, and two of them were married, but then the other ones weren't. They just happened to both teach, and they were all awesome people. And then it was just like one day it was different, and they were different that day. And I don't remember what they said that day, but I remember the feeling of being like, well, you're sitting with them, so you must be guilty too. And it was just like everything changed that day. And it was like, wait, I didn't do anything. And I don't think that I was equipped to talk to them and be like, okay. I think it's the adult's job to ask them and talk to them and be like, hey, are you okay? You don't look okay. You haven't been to Sabbath school in a few weeks. What's going on?
Yeah.
And then I probably would have been able to say it, but nobody did that. That never happened.
One thing that always struck me positively at one of the churches I used to pastor, the youth director there. Well, he wasn't the youth director at the time. He was just one of the youth leaders. He really had a passion for the early teens. And so with church one day, he sees the mom of one of these early teens, and she's like, hey, where's your son? She's like, he don't want to come to church today, right? And so he got in his car, drove over to his house, and was like, come on, we're going to church today, right?
See, that's love.
And that, that young person, he was not planning on going to church. He thought I was going to get to skip out and do whatever that day.
Right.
He ended up coming to church and had a really good time there, right?
Right.
Of course, the mom said yes, go get him if he's willing to come, right? He didn't do all this without her permission or anything, right?
Right.
But she's like, yeah, go get him, go get him, and and he actually went with two other people, to go pick him up. So the two friends who were also early teens went with him, and they showed up to this house Saturday morning, like, come on, let's go to church. And then he got out. He got out and went over to church that Saturday.
That's awesome. Praise God. Praise God.
That's that sense of community that I was talking about. It's like you feel like you belong, and that only comes with effort.
Yeah.
Effort on the part of the pastor, effort on the part of those friends,
and the other adults. The adults involved. I can honestly tell you, I think if like my pastor and my Sabbath school teacher showed up at my house and were like, "Hey, what's going on? We haven't seen you." I would have been a very different story. I would have been like, "Oh, I've been really hurt, and here's why."
Yeah.
That would have been awesome. And I feel like too, like God lets you go through certain experiences to maybe like so that because you're equipped to overcome them. And I've kind of felt like that for a long time about that situation. Like, well, now I can make sure that this doesn't happen to like my kids or to, other people's kids that are going through a rough time, because being a teen is really tough. It is tough.
Believe it or not.
And I think it's easy for when you get older to kind of forget about those things, but I've never forgotten. And I think maybe there's a reason for that. So that I make sure those things don't happen again. At least in the part of the world that I have an influence on,
Yeah.
Now you see why I was so nervous about this stuff.
I mean, but it's good because we get to talk about some of these real issues.
It is. And these are definitely things that we need to talk about. And we need to come up with solutions that are going to be real solutions. And I know one thing that's cool I've seen, I haven't been involved with Pathfinders or teaching Pathfinders for quite a number of years now, but I did for a while. I used to do Pathfinders and I did adventures and helped out with both of those, which was really rewarding. I wished I could have kept doing it. But I think that it's cool. They've added a lot of new badges that I think a lot of people now would find really interesting.
What are some of them? I'm curious about it.
The badges?
Yeah. Some of the new ones you said.
Oh man, I can't tell you off the top of my head. I just remember going, wow, I wish they'd had these back when I was, in it when I was younger.
Because I think there's like internet or technology ones.
There is, yeah. Actually, I can toggle over and look. Hold on.
So I'm starting to understand terraforming a little bit better now.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'd like to see some of those badges. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
now
we can hear you.
Okay.
I'm looking them up. I'm looking.
How you doing?
Yeah, and welcome, Andrew.
I snuck in there after I had a Zoom meeting.
We got some echo feedback. Do you have your headset in?
I do.
I don't hear any feedback on them.
Yeah.
Do you guys?
I don't hear anything.
I do not.
Check 1, 2.
What is the deal? All right.
Yeah, you
Maybe
guys are
that's-
clean on this end.
I think maybe I fixed it.
Marie. Now I'm scared.
Murray.
Now I'm scared.
Murray.
You got me confused. Now you're just going to be Marie.
No! Don't you dare.
Did you say Marine?
Oh, man.
Marina.
You guys are going to traumatize me.
Marina. Her name's Marina now.
I typed it out phonetically for you in the chat.
Let's see.
I see that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You got me second guessing myself. That's why. I was like, I swear I said it right the first time. Now I'm like, wait, no, that's not right. And I'm like, wait, it is right.
Yeah, we talked about making a patch for the guild that kind of looks like some of the old Activision patches.
Yeah.
So that'd be cool. Like, oh, here's some.
Okay.
A lot of.
I'm going to share my screen for a minute, Pastor Mike, and I'm going to show some of these badges that are really cool.
We need some stinking badges.
Okay.
That's a joke. Quote off a movie.
I got your joke.
Okay.
Made me laugh.
Hold on, I gotta. I've got too many windows open. That's like confusing me. Okay. Here we go. All right. So, like, there's an artificial intelligence badge, which is awesome.
Ooh.
There's like all these vocational badges now, which is really cool.
What does that even mean?
I remember carpentry being one when I was younger, and bookkeeping I think was one. But like, I mean, hairstyling, I
Bookkeeping.
totally would have got that one.
Hairstyling, wow.
And
what-
internet advanced and internet, journalism, forestry is there now.
Fire safety.
Computers, of course, is there.
Wait, they got to update that picture on the computer.
I know, right?
CRT.
But there's even like a master of modern technology. Radio
room?
seems a little odd. There's like radio advanced, and radio electronics, which seems a little odd, but
Is that a printing press for printing?
Yeah.
yes, that is actually.
Like, is that
What?
something they expect you
Do
to
you
do
think-
printing?
Do you think we could all get our social media badge?
Oh, they made DARPA. Okay, cool.
Cool. Well, I just stopped in for a second. I have another Zoom meeting, so
Oh no.
thanks for having me.
Okay. Well, have a good night.
All
Thank you for
take care,
coming.
guys.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye. Christian grooming and manners. What is that about? I don't remember that one.
What does it say? Go to learn. That's a level 2 badge.
Oh, at level 2.
Dun dun dun.
Interesting. For young ladies, for young men. All right. So then there's the only badges like I ever got were like all these different like camping things, like how to make a fire when you don't really have the things to make a fire.
Right? Those are the ones I had.
But things like that, you know, like and like crochet, but I don't even think I finished enough to get that badge. Oh, alternate fuels, that would be cool.
Alternate fuels?
Alternative fuels. Yeah, and there's an alternative fuels advanced too.
Oh.
There's a lot of animal care ones. Dinosaurs, I don't know what that one's about, but what is a fen? Bogs and fen. There's a bogs and fen badge. Household arts. Yeah. Health Master Award. I could probably get that one now. What is Tapacloth? Oh, pizza maker. Well, I mean, you guys have seen the pictures I post. I definitely could get that badge now.
Now I'm getting hungry. All right, so
I have actually
Get back to
never made a
topic here.
pizza from scratch.
Really? Well, you got to try it.
we're gonna do a One Accord live stream where we're gonna do live cooking.
Hey, we could play a
I'm
cooking
in.
game.
Okay, we're okay. And let me know how it goes.
Yes.
I was looking at his message. What I was gonna say was, back to our topic here. I think Eli, you said this. They got you involved.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think that is such a key thing, is to get young people involved, but not like, hey, can you clean up? You know, not
Right.
so much that kind of stuff, but like even
Right,
giving
right.
them like authority to do things there at church. Like
Right, and I think you may
go
have
ahead.
hit it on the head because, well, sorry, go ahead.
No,
I was
go
gonna
ahead.
say, while the others were not really being used, there was still like an expectation, which was usually they were expected to either sing or do like a skit. But my youth group specifically, they didn't like to sing or to act, but that was like the only thing that church wanted to use them for. And so I think it's important to hear them out and, like you said, give them authority, because if we're being typecast into doing the thing that we don't like to do, sooner or later we just give up and leave.
Yeah. I think that would have helped me a lot back then, honestly. You know, hey, Murray, we really need you to do XYZ. That would really help us out a lot. I think even if it wasn't entirely true that they needed me, just to give me something that felt true would have helped. If that makes sense.
Yes, definitely.
It does. It does.
I don't remember my church.
I also feel that.
Go ahead.
No, continue.
Oh, I was just trying to remember, like, did my church ever do like what we do, where we have like the youth will pick up the offering, they'll do all this different stuff, you know, they read, at least pre-pandemic, they were doing all these things. You know, that kind of stuff was really, I don't remember ever being asked to do those things. I think the only time we ever did anything like that was like Pathfinder Sabbath, and that was it. And I don't know if it's still the same now. I mean, I'd like to think that it isn't.
You mean post-pandemic, or
no, pre-pandemic? That
Okay.
that people were doing those, you know, getting the youth to do the jobs that, you know, people do, do the Bible reading from the front, or if that's what they want to do. If they don't want to do that, then don't make them. But like, maybe there's those kinds of things that would make them feel useful.
Well, the thing is, I feel that if we only count on the youth for like the youth Sabbath or the 13th Sabbath programming or whatever, where we're calling on them just because they're the youth and the youth are supposed to do stuff that day, that is a little insulting and demeaning. I feel that it would be better if every Sabbath they use at least one young person, right? And I do mean at least one.
Yeah.
2 or more would be ideal.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't remember us ever having something outside of Pathfinder Sabbath. Like, that was it. Like, I don't remember us ever doing or being asked to do anything else. I think it was just like that, and that was about it. Or singing. You're right, because they would have us sing songs or do a special music quite often.
Yeah.
That's it. That was the extent of our duties.
And that's again, that's a problem, because like I said at the beginning, there's all of these, like, it's like a web of cultures within the church that are irrelevant, and I forgot the other word that I used, but we need to change. I don't know if you guys have heard of My Generation Church. This was a project they did in Manhattan, and the idea was they wanted to make a church for non-church folk, and that is a great concept. Like, how do you start a church for people who never been to church and don't want to go? Well, we made one, and the dress code is jeans and t-shirts. Everybody wears them, including the pastor. He'll show up and he'll do his sermon in jeans and a t-shirt, and you know, it's very, very casual. Definitely not what you think of when you hear the word church. But they've been doing it, and from what I've been told, they've been very successful. And so I do believe that it's time for us to start sort of thinking outside the box, right? We can't just keep doing the same thing we've been doing since the 1800s and expect every modern generation to be okay with it, because it doesn't work. It's kind of obsolete right now.
And it's obsolete right now, especially with the pandemic. Because churches are still not like fully functional, you know?
True.
Well,
yeah.
Not all over. I mean, some places are, but still not, maybe there's not potluck, or there's not full meetings, or they are meeting, but they're not meeting in the sanctuary, or someplace, and it's really variant upon the state, you know. But Some of that's even dependent on the weather.
Which is also, I think, contributing to the reasons why people are leaving.
Yeah.
Like, I was in Florida beginning of this year, and it was a Saturday, and we were like trying to find a church to go to. And so we were looking at churches in the area, and like one of them was like a lottery. Literally,
Yeah.
like you had to get a ticket on Ticketmaster, I think is what they used, or some other ticket site. And it was free, but it's like you had to apply to get your ticket, and you had to have gotten it more than 24 hours before, just so that they could decide who could and couldn't come to church. And it's like, I feel like if you're gonna do that, you're already just making it seem like standoffish, where it's like, well, do I really want to go to this church? I mean, we didn't. We ended up finding another church that was farther away, but it was meeting outdoors. And so like we got to, and it was at a member's house who actually lived across the street from the church itself. And he had this huge property. So it was like, everybody bring your own chairs, and we're still having church. It's still the same. We're just all like distance apart so that, you know, everybody's comfortable, and it's all outside. So, you know, everybody wore masks who wanted to wear masks or didn't. And it was fine. Like, and it actually felt homey. It felt like a community, that it's like, this is cool. If I lived here, it's like, I'd want to be a part of something like this, like, you know, to see what's going on. So I think like having an environment that's warm and welcoming is good. I think casual attire is fine to me. But I also think if you do all that and then you still like don't create the atmosphere of connection, like if I were to go to the church and it's like, and nobody bothered to come up and greet us, then all of those other things kind of fall aside. You know what I'm saying?
Can I say something about that though?
Yeah.
I like it when people will greet me at the church. When I go to a new church, I think that's great. And I used to travel a lot when I was younger, and I always thought that was really awesome. But you know what I hated? Absolutely hated it when they were like, stand up so everybody can see you.
Oh, yeah.
So we all know who you are. Like, no, I don't want to. No. Why are you doing this to me? Like, I never want to go back.
Just
don't
I know now.
do that to people. Don't do it. Don't
just so I know that now, when she comes to my church,
we'll do that. Yeah.
If I'm coming to your church and I'm coming across the country, then I'm probably going to be speaking, and then that also means that everyone's going to know who I am anyway. But I'm talking about when I was younger. I hated that. Like, who wants to be like forced on display like that? I just think that's abusive, to be honest.
Young people love to be put on display like that.
No.
Yeah, they definitely do.
They like to be put on display in their own terms.
Do you get an iron trough or like bin? I'm trying to remember.
Oh,
it's a cauldron.
Cauldron. That's the one. That's the word.
Why isn't it coming
up? I found out that you can also add other materials to the mask as well. You just comma it. So mask, you know, grass block, comma, dirt, comma, and then I want to do acacia log, comma.
Cool.
Oh, there we go. Actually, I wanted to do stone. I wonder if it's only going to do stone. Oh, yeah, it's only going to do stone now.
So are you using a brush?
Yeah. Or technically, no. I'm using just like the command is I'm making this shovel place down sand. But I set a command, well, and Roque figured it out, how to make it only replace certain blocks with that material.
Okay. I need to do that over there. Where can I do that?
Where are you? Or where do you
Well,
need to do it?
I'm right here at where you guys are, but let me show you where you need to do that. Wow, wait, this is a really sharp right here. We need to make that less.
Yeah. Here, watch.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so where did you say you needed to do that?
So this big green area that's kind of along the river here,
Oh, okay.
we need to make that, like everything that's grass needs to be desert.
All right, so the way I'll do this one is we got a tool here. Okay.
I'm
I'm
watching the
gonna-
screen.
First position. Let's see how big we can do this.
Without crashing the server?
In second position, yeah. So I'm going to replace all the grass blocks in here with sand. All right.
Mm.
You just do that again. You know how to do the positions? Select them, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, just do that and then do the / replace and then the two things.
Oh, they're getting out.
Look at Jay commenting or writing to us in Discord.
Well, why isn't he writing in YouTube?
I don't know. Maybe he's in class.
Tell them to contribute.
Yeah, Jay is not here because he's teaching a class, I believe.
He's teaching now? What's he teaching?
He's teaching this. He is teaching this this term. Yeah, he took a class at maybe I shouldn't say, but yeah, he took a class to teach.
Like a class.
Okay, how do I make the radius bigger on the mask?
I don't really know, actually.
You know what? Hold on. Let me try here. Unmask. Dirt. 5. No. Okay. Mask. 5 and then dirt. No. You know, I don't know. Too many are too many. Mask dirt.
Okay, so what is that code that I put in
Which one? What?
to change a bunch of the grass to
I
sand?
DM'd you the information.
Oh,
actually.
you did. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna do another interesting one. Are you ready?
Oh, that is not what I wanted. No. No, I want to do the command that Pastor Mike just did. I've right clicked, I've left clicked, and I need that. What did you type in after you left clicked and right clicked?
There we go. Replace.
Replace. Oh, okay. And then I do the grass block.
/ replace.
Yep.
Oh, you're talking about that. Okay.
There it goes.
Oh, it only did the one layer. Oh, weird. Okay.
Did you guys put to keep these? What are these blocks that are keeping these tent-looking things up? You're using to support the carpet that you're using as like tent.
Sand. I mean, a string.
Yeah.
Oh, it's string.
That's how the carpet stays on it. Yeah.
Wait, where are you?
Oh, my tool, my wooden axe has lost its abilities now. I can't right click and left click. Okay, why can't I do that? It won't do it now. It's just being an axe.
I don't know why. That's weird.
You have to what's it called? Rebind it as world edit.
Yeah, it's bound by whatever that code is that you copied and pasted to me, okay?
Oh.
Because that's what
Yes.
just happened.
Well, select, put it back in your hand, and then just do / brush unbind. Brush / unbind. But no, but it has to be in your hand, of course. Oh wait, I was
It is
looking
in my
at somebody
hand.
else. I was looking at Mike's screen. I got confused. Wait a minute.
So I copied and
Nope,
this,
I can't do it. It
Try logging in, logging out.
delete that axe and get another one.
still learning, people. It's hard learning new things.
It's a hard enough life for us.
Can I see your screen like full screen so I can see? Like, it's hard to see. It's so tiny. I guess I'll make mine bigger.
Nope. My
That's
axes are
strange.
all undone. I can't right click, left click.
Strange.
If I right click, nothing happens. If
Try
I
logging out and logging back in.
Okay.
Let's see if that helps. I don't know.
Should I quit the game and
Oh
start it?
no, wait.
Just
Okay.
go back in.
So are you in the game still?
I am now.
Does it work?
No,
Uh,
it's deleting blocks. It won't let me
Okay.
left click.
Hold it. Okay, hold the tool in your hand.
Yep.
I don't see your screen. Okay. And type in // then well, 2 slashes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then put wand.
Oh. No.
Yeah, it works now.
Oh, it did. It came back. Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah, wand makes it rebinds, whatever the term is. It makes it world edit again.
Okay, cool.
oh, that's right. With world edit again.
Yes, this is true. Back to the topic, Pastor Mike. What's the solution?
What's the solution?
Yeah, do you have
Well,
thoughts on the solution?
Yeah.
Okay.
I really like what Eli said. It's about getting them involved, and I really think that's important because it kind of gives them a reason to come to church when they have some kind of response, but not just a responsibility, but like authority attached to that. Because I've seen it happen so often where, all right, the young people are going to do the song service today, but you have to do the songs that we approve of.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a tricky, a delicate line because, you also have to be aware of the type of congregation that you're at, right? Let's say you're a congregation that's mainly retirement age, and the young people want to do they want to bring a drum set in, and it may not sit well with the entire congregation, right? But that doesn't mean that there isn't songs that young people can't do. And I'm just using songs as an example here. So I had a youth Sabbath a few months ago, maybe like 3 months ago, and I asked the praise team for all young people. I think most of them are millennials, some Gen Z there. And I was like, you guys can do the song service, but you can't do drums. And they were like, what? And I was like, we can't. Not even a cajon, right? I was like, you guys can still do these songs, just no drums. This is just to understand how the church goes, right? They're not going to be okay with drums, but you can do whatever songs you want to, right? And so they did do a lot of good songs that would have been better if they had a cajon or some kind of percussion, right? But they
What
still
is that instrument you keep saying? I don't know what that is.
It's like a box drum. It's like a wooden box that you sit on.
Oh, okay.
And you just kind of like bang it.
I just figured out why the brush size couldn't get bigger, but the thing is, to update it on the server, I'd have to reboot the server so that it can update on, because I updated the configuration. So so you guys are gonna have to like just wait a little bit. I'm gonna reboot it real quick, the server. So
wait. No.
You don't have to
now.
do that right now.
Okay, we could do it. We don't have to do it now then. But for now, next time I guess when we use the brushes, it'll be like you can use a bigger like size.
Yeah. Well, we know that you have to reboot it. So okay.
We'll just leave it alone then.
Yeah, that would mess up the whole broadcast right now.
We'd all just be talking here.
You'd be like bored staring at the screen for a whole minute or two.
Well, sometimes it takes longer than that when you've rebooted. So.
Yeah.
Nobody's pointing fingers. We're just saying.
Oh, Pastor Mike, totally off topic, but I want to tell you that I just found out that my husband can do a dead-on impersonation of Cookie Monster.
Oh.
I was telling him of all the ones that you guys were doing the other day. So we need to have like, I don't know, some kind of like skit or play, like doing voices or telling the story of, and then you guys can do all the voices that you all can do. Well, I can do one too, but everybody needs to then do their voices. This was like what we were doing.
What can you do?
I can do Stitch.
Oh, okay. That's right. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like we should do something based on that. Like, I don't know what, but I think that would be really awesome. We have a lot of people here that can do voices and of different characters, and we need to figure out a way to utilize that skill set.
Yeah. We gotta figure out where we can do it. Trolling people online. Join Jay's Zoom class.
You went to his Zoom class?
Imagine? No. I don't have the Zoom link to his class yet.
I would laugh.
I think you go to that same school.
I do, and if he's there like the fall, then
you can go take his class.
I don't know. I don't think it's. You know what? I do have to take an elective, and depending on what he's teaching, it might be considered one.
That's hilarious.
That'd be. You know what? I just thought I'm going to look into that. I'm going to look into that. I'm going to say it was our Roque's idea. You're okay? You okay with that? All right, good. Yeah. All of you heard him say yeah, right?
I didn't even hear anything.
I didn't hear him say no.
I didn't even hear what we were talking about.
It won't. I keep trying to change that to sand, and this whole area won't change. It's really weird.
Wait, let me see. Oops. All right, what are you trying to do here?
Well, I set my first position, and my second position's already over there. And I'm going to do replace grass block. And oh, it did it that. Of course, you come over and then it works. We're okay. Get the spots I missed.
Was that like a Was that you asking them, or you?
That
Is
was
that a
more of a
command?
declaration of what to do.
Right?
I could have worded that differently. Okay, look at what. Why does that keep happening?
What?
Is it sand?
Yeah, sand falls.
Oh, and you place one, and then 1,000 fall.
So in survival mode, imagine you are digging, or you're looking for buried treasure, and then you're underground mining, and then you hit sand, and all of a sudden all these blocks just start falling down on you.
Would suck.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best part. There's even sometimes when you find a watch, because hold on, where is the sandstone? Here we go. Because you notice right here, where are you? Mara, look at this.
Dude,
What'd you do?
I'm gonna call you Ecom. It's your name backwards.
Look, Murray, look.
Yes, I'm looking.
So you see how the sand and sandstone look alike?
Yeah.
So the game will load up with some sand that there's nothing under it. So when you walk over it, it starts to all just cave in.
Oh.
And so you may end up falling like super like far down. In survival mode I'm talking about. Which we're gonna have a survival game with you and Andrew soon.
Yeah. Do you want to tell people the rules of that, or no?
I don't know the rules. I don't know who was the one who was organizing it.
I think the idea was to see who could survive the longest, right?
Yeah, but Jay has a spiritual idea attached to that, and it will go with something like this. It's that if okay, so there's going to be since Andrew and I have never played in survival mode, Andrew and I will play in survival mode, and then a couple of you guys are going to be invisible playing, and you guys are the angels, and you have to see who is going to survive the longest and try to help us and make it so that we can survive. So, but we're not gonna know who's. Only the angels are gonna know who their person they're trying to keep alive is, and we can't communicate. So, like, if Mike and Roque were my angels, they couldn't talk to me and tell me things. Is part of the rules.
One way you can make so you can communicate, people communicate with each other, is like you can Andrew and Murray, you could be like on StreamYard, but then the other people like me, Mike, Pastor Mike, and Jay could all be on Discord, so it's like a separate chat, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So the whole idea, I can't remember his purpose behind it, but it was that was kind of the premise of the challenge. And Andrew and I are not playing in the meantime. We're not playing in survival mode. We're just going to be total rookies. Because we've only done creative. We've only done what we're doing now, which is where we're building these sets to tell the Bible stories on. So.
It should be interesting watching you guys try to survive.
I think that's going to be part of the entertainment.
Can we disguise ourselves like the villagers?
No, you're supposed to be invisible, I think he said.
I think, well,
angels
took the form of people. But I think what you can do is, in the server settings, you can take away names. So we could look like regular villagers, and it would be us. There's just no name tag above us.
You'll have to mention that to Jay. You guys, I had a really sore throat last night, and it's getting a lot worse, and I really don't want to talk anymore. I need a hot drink.
Need some tea.
I do. I need some like throat coat tea or something.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so little by little, we've been terraforming Egypt here.
Yes.
You know, when you mentioned pizza earlier, that hasn't left my mind.
An American classic.
It's about as American as the burrito.
Technically, it's Italian, but the Americans kind of just improvised. They're like, "Oh, let's make some changes to this. Oh, let's put pineapple."
We perfected it.
So,
Amen.
speaking of putting pineapple on it, and you guys will have to tell me if any of you have ever had this. I went to somebody's birthday party, and they made like these big foot-long sandwiches that they cut up. And so they put like veggie meat, and they had some vegan options with vegan mayonnaise and vegan cheese. And so I get this sandwich, and I was really hungry. I was like, "Oh, this looks really good." And I get it, and I take this big bite, and I'm like, "Something's sour in this. Like something's off." And we're like all eating it, and we're like, "Does it taste fruity? Like, was something not right when they put it in?" And everybody was like, "Yeah, something is just a little off." And so we asked the hosts. They're like, "Hey, what'd you put in these sandwiches?" And they were like, "Oh, the usual, like veggie meat, mayonnaise, tomato, lettuce." They go, and then ground up pineapple and honey
Oh,
Oh.
in like a paste, and like smeared it on there. And we're like, "Oh, interesting."
why? Yeah, why?
Why?
That's how they like their sandwiches, and they just assume that
Pineapple makes
everybody likes
everything
sandwiches
better.
like that. I was like, is this what it feels like for the Italians when they see us? We're like, "Yeah, pineapple on pizza." And then they're like,
Pour
"Pineapple
some-
on sandwiches." It works.
So be pouring maple syrup on spaghetti.
Well, pineapple just belongs on pizza.
That's what well, in their minds, pineapple belonged on on this pizza too, or on this sandwich. And I was like, pineapple honey paste, huh?
So there's actually a reason why pineapple belongs on pizza, and that's because pizza is usually fatty, and acidic foods, when mixed with fat, actually creates like this really cool emulsion. So pickles, pineapple, and other acidic toppings actually go very well on pizza, but most people seem to not be aware of this rule. And they just complain about pineapple pizza, but it actually does work.
You brought the science into it.
I'm not convinced.
I'm a big fan of food, so.
But
You said you're a big fan of food? Is that what you said?
I am. I love food history, food culture, food science, all of it. It's like it's fascinating.
I believe you about the whole acids thing. Like, I understand the science behind that, but I just cannot get behind the idea of pineapple on pizza. I can't. My brain.
Have you tried it though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hence why I'm not convinced.
I remember the first time I had it, my mind was blown. I was like, "Whoa, what is it?" They're like pineapple. I'm like, "Of course, it makes sense."
I don't mind pineapple. I don't mind pineapple on pizza. It's not my first choice, but I don't mind it. I'll eat it.
Well, see, there's the difference. Do you want it, or do you like it, or will you eat it? Like, those are all very different.
I like it. I'll eat it, but if I had options, that's probably not the first.
All right.
What would your first option be?
I love veggies on pizza. So bell peppers, onions, tomatoes, black olives, right? Like usually that, or like a margarita pizza, like a very well made margarita pizza. That's my favorite.
Right. Onions are acidic, so that goes into my point. The others were not very acidic, but yeah, I mean, everybody has their personal favorites, and technically, there's no wrong way to eat a pizza as long as you're not a Chuck E. Cheese. There's no wrong way, but I'm sorry, I had to. But again, there are rules that people that know about food can take into deciphering what toppings make sense versus which ones don't make sense. And pineapple makes sense from a food science point of view.
Interesting.
Jai, what about you? Pizza, favorite pizza?
I mean, I like the basic stuff like olives and mushrooms. Pineapple's good too.
That's much.
I'd have to be in the mood for it.
For pineapple?
Yeah. There's a really good, actually, when my wife and I go to Seattle, there's this place there that makes a macaroni and cheese pizza. It's all vegan.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's a sin. You see that broke my personal rule, which is never put starch on starch. That is just
that's
Eli's
like the rule I
Second,
live
you
by.
put a starchy topping onto an already starchy dish.
So you
No.
don't like rice pizza?
No rice pizza, no potato pizza.
Rice and
None of that
potatoes
stuff.
on pizza.
I guess
I
to
like
Eli,
to
that's
eat
like
corn.
a
my
combination.
potato and pasta rice special.
No. It's a disgrace. And it doesn't just have to be pizza. It's a sandwich. If you take a sandwich, right, and you put potatoes in it or some other starch in it, like I lose respect for you. Like some people are putting French fries or tater tots into the sandwich. Like, no, you eat them on the side. You don't put them in it.
We'll start putting potatoes in a burrito. Be like,
You
"Here,
know,
Eli, eat
I
it."
gotta say, I put potatoes on all kinds of things, and I would rather have my potato chips in the sandwich than outside of the sandwich.
If it's for a texture reason, I will accept that. But if it's for any other reason, then no. Because I get that some people need crunch. I get that, right? There's other ingredients we can use for crunch. But okay, fine. Potato chips, acceptable crunch factor. But if you're just adding mashed potatoes or macaroni and cheese or other starches into your sandwich, no.
I would have to say the one that is really good that I discovered is I discovered organic Doritos, and they are just amazing in a sandwich. They are so good in a sandwich. I don't like them on their own as much as I like them in the sandwich. They're just incredible.
Oh, Doritos in a sandwich?
Okay.
Yeah, so you take whatever sandwich you're making and then put a layer of Doritos in there. And it's just out of this world. I don't know why.
I do that at Subway.
Hmm.
When I get a sandwich, I put chips inside of it because it adds that extra crunch that's just
See, now I'm just more grossed out that you eat at Subway.
Well, I'm hungry. There's not too many options where I live.
He has a point. If it was your only option, Jai, I mean, like, if it was that or McDonald's, where would you go?
I'd probably just
starve.
Except that, yeah, my time has come.
I don't think so.
My time to go. It's my time. Who am I to tell God no?
Look, I just found a cavern under here. Woo!
Something my wife said the other day. She said, she's like jokingly, she was like throwing memes out, and she's like, I hate going into the kitchen and only finding ingredients. She's like, I hate not finding food and only finding ingredients.
Exactly.
What does she want to find?
Well, by that means like you have to make everything.
Hmm.
Well,
that's the best part.
Right in there.
See, this week I decided I was gonna make everything, and I had a blast making stuff. I made my own ketchup.
What?
So, it's fun.
It's taking it to another level.
And yes, I already had a bottle of ketchup in the fridge, but I was like, I want to make my own.
That did not work.
Eli he don't play games. That's the food guy.
He's like, I'm making my own ketchup. He's like, it was
now,
so
look,
great.
I get it. There
I
are some
bought a
days
cow,
when
I'm
you're
milking my own milk.
Well, I'm vegan, but there are some days when I feel lazy and I don't want to do anything.
Oh,
but
man.
I like the idea of making everything from scratch.
It happened again. The sand
What
went
happened?
everywhere. I
Sand?
replaced the sand, and the sand, it went all down into that cavern.
Oh.
Eli, have you seen that video where almond milk comes from?
Yes.
The guy with like the little
milk
milking
of Canada
machines.
almond. Yes, of course. The funny thing is that for ages we have referred to coconut milk as milk, and nobody had a problem. But it's not until soy milk came around where people drew the line. Like, no, we refuse to use the word milk for a non-dairy product. But we have coconut milk. We have milk of magnesia. The word milk has for many decades meant other non-dairy products, but nope. Soy milk, almond, that's where they drew the line.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, right? As a lover of food, and when I was, formerly a meat eater, now I'm vegan. There's a lot of how do you say that? There's a lot of meat products that I miss, right? But one thing that I don't miss is milk. Cow's milk. Cow's milk is disgusting, and it's funny because I think deep down we all know this. When we were kids, we hated it, and our parents had to put chocolate in it, and then eventually we sort of got used to it and we accepted it, right? But throughout my life, my parents sort of kept making the switch to soy milk and then making the switch backwards. And I realized that the switch to soy milk wasn't nearly as bad as the switch back to cow's milk, because cow's milk is just disgusting. Like, eventually, once I got used to it again, I was able to tolerate it. But it's just disgusting. It's like this acidic, sour, ugh.
Can we not talk about it? That'd be great.
I'm sorry.
That being
but funny
said,
thing
though,
is, I still think greatly of cheese. So cheese.
I want to say something about cow's milk, though. I want to say something, and because I do know people that absolutely love it, and I did taste real milk. Okay, here's the thing, you guys. The milk that's in the stores, that you see that just is like whole milk, 2%, 1% skim milk. That is not real milk. Okay, real milk that has not been like processed in any way tastes totally different. And I got to tell you, it is actually really, really good. There was a place that I used to be able to get it in a different state that I lived in, not the state I live in now, but it was what was delivered, and it was not like processed, and it was amazing. And it was the only time in my life that I actually liked milk. And I was so sad when I moved and couldn't get that anymore. And it was just, it was completely different, and it tasted amazing, and it was lovely. And
raw milk is actually illegal for sale in the United States. If we have access to cows, you can make your own, but it's illegal for sale and purchase. The FBI legitimately will raid a store that sells it because they have to protect people.
I didn't say it was raw.
Oh, and it's not real milk. And
well,
then you're processing it.
Okay, I would like to clarify that it is not illegal for the sale to give to animals.
Oh, yes, that's true. It's for human consumption. Let's clarify that.
Let's clarify that, yeah.
Yes, good point.
Clarify.
But it is we pasteurize it, we homogenize it, we water it down, we separate the cream. We do a lot of stuff to it.
I don't think that that's the way that it was intended to be used, to be honest.
I mean, I don't think we were intended to drink milk in the first place, outside of, the mother's milk.
Could I also to point out that Jesus ate curds and whey?
Yeah.
And meat?
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I don't think that was the plan. Like, if sin had not happened, do you think we would have been in heaven milking the cows and
No.
pouring it over our fresh oats?
Okay, I tried to make it better and I made it worse. I'm over here trying to help Roque, and I just made it worse.
Let's see what's going on here. All right, so what's going on here?
Well, when I changed a bunch of the grass blocks the sand, it like caved in, and he's trying to fix it so that it's all like there. Yeah. Oh, thank you. That's better. Can you do the other side too then?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think what happened is that historically, right, in these survival situations, humanity figured out that they could, drink the milk of other mammals for sustenance. And then eventually they developed a taste for it, and they decided, let's make this our main form of sustenance, to the point that we're at where we're at now, where there's yogurt and cheese and all of this multi-million dairy industry. And I don't think it was meant to be that big of a staple in our diet. An occasional treat, yes, but I don't know.
Well, I don't know that people really were meant to eat in the way that we eat now, like 3 meals a day. I don't believe that was the intention either. I think that it was
True.
a lot more simplistic than that, and there is evidence, like historical evidence, to show that. And there's even cultures that still exist today that only eat like once every 2 or 3 days because they're still living kind of that hunter-gatherer lifestyle. But, I think there's just a very different... Oh, my stars. Whoa, what just happened? Did you do that to me? Oh! Pastor Mike. We're just going to skip the pastor. We're just going to call you Mike.
I already did that.
Well, that's okay. You guys are related.
It's about 5:50. Well, my time, which is 8:50 your guys' time.
Yep.
You want to just call it here?
Yeah, we should. We've done a lot. Do you have any closing remarks on your topic tonight?
Yeah. So I think that the main thing that we talked about here is getting people involved. Whether it's in something small or something big, getting them involved kind of gives them a reason to come back. And I think a lot of us here that those of us that shared experiences about kind of what kept us there is, we got involved or somebody got us involved, whether it was someone, I mentioned the story of the guy going to pick up that young person, or Eli for putting you responsible of a few things. And now today, kind of our job, because while we are millennials and we are still, young people, there are younger people than us who still need, people to pay attention to them. So I think it is important that we reach out to others, that we do get involved and we get others involved as well, but not burden them with a bunch of responsibilities, but to bestow upon them the privilege of authority, right? I think that's kind of what the main thing here, at least what I got from our discussion.
Yeah.
Here with us. So let's see anyone else wants to add anything to that. Why don't we close with a word of prayer? That sound good?
Yeah. Thank you, Pastor Mike.
Okay. Eli, do you want to close it out for us? Prayer?
I will try.
Okay.
I'm never good with public prayers, but give it the old college try. All right, so let's bow our heads, or whatever we're doing. Heavenly Father, we thank you very much for being able to spend this time together. Lord, in this subject, I think it's important not always just to point out what doesn't work, but to always strive to work towards a solution. So for those of us here and those listening, that we start asking ourselves, Lord, how can we be that change that the church needs? How can we let the young people, the millennials, know that they matter, and how can we just get everyone involved, Lord? And so as we break off to the rest of our schedule, Lord, we ask that you be with us and bless us. We ask you this in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. All right. Well, thank you all of you for joining. We will be back here tomorrow night with another topic and more people to discuss as well. So Please write us questions right in the Discord. The Discord is super active. There's stuff going on every minute there, right? Those of you who have notifications turned on, and anybody can just jump in, join in, and be part of a conversation. There's a channel for everybody there. So we'd love to see you there. Comment, write in our videos, subscribe, and press the bell for notifications as well. So, all right, everyone, have a good rest of your day. Talk to you guys later.